So apparently the Fever just leaked their starting five, according to this graphic right here. And yeah, this is apparently what it's going to be. Caitlin Clark at the 1, Kelsey Mitchell at the 2, DeWanna Bonner at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aaliyah Boston at the 5. Obviously.
Because in order for the Fever to achieve the goals that they have in front of them, everyone is going to need to buy into their role, and it's up to Stephanie White to put the best lineups out there, the best lineup combinations, and all of that. I took a stab at projecting what the starting 5 will be, and it's, not a huge leap, but obviously Caitlin Clark's going to be the point guard.
What if I told you the Indiana Fever just dropped a starting 5 that could flip the WNBA upside down? A leaked graphics got everyone buzzing. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston. 5 All-Stars, 2 Rookie of the Year winners, and a bench so deep it's scary. This isn't a team, it's a tidal wave. Stick around, because we're breaking down why this lineup's a nightmare, how Stephanie White's about to unleash chaos, and which X Factor might just crack the championship code. The Fever are here to win right now.
Listen, you talk about players that change the game when they're on the court, whether they're touching the ball or not. You have to guard her when she steps into the gym. And so I don't think we've seen anything like that in women's basketball. I've played against a number of great shooters.
Yes. Somebody
that when they walk in the gym, you have to guard them. And I think the way the game is played has allowed her to showcase that skill, to be able to take that shot. That shot's being a good shot. It speaks to where basketball is right now.
Let's start with the leak that's shaking the league. Point guard, Caitlin Clark, the generational maestro. Shooting guard, Kelsey Mitchell, a scoring machine with no off switch. Small forward, DeWanna Bonner, a 6'4" champion who bends defenses like pretzels. Power forward, Natasha Howard, a defensive beast with 3 rings. Center, Aaliyah Boston, the paint's quiet assassin. That's over 80 points per game from last season alone. On paper, it's the WNBA's deadliest 5. X-Post lit up when the Fever's social media flashed these names in a ticket promo April 1st. Coincidence? Maybe. But this isn't a random flex, it's a warning shot.
Kelsey Mitchell, the shooting guard, the most potent backcourt in the WNBA. I think DeWanna Bonner will be the Swiss Army knife kind of player at the 3. Natasha Howard fills that hole that they had at power forward, especially they were lacking somebody who could run the floor, catch and finish. Aaliyah Boston is the center who doesn't hunt for shots but can be a key cog on both ends.
Caitlin Clark's the engine. She's not your typical point guard. Think Steph Curry with a sharper pass. Last year, she averaged 19.2 points and led the league with 8.4 assists as a rookie. Now picture this. She hands off, then bolts through screens, cuts back door, and pops out at 30 feet. Defenders chasing shadows. You guard her the second she walks in the gym. One coach said, her vision's unreal, passing lanes open before you blink. With this lineup, she's not just running the show, she's rewriting it. Teams doubled her last year and got torched. Now, good luck.
When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go down in history as the greatest. And I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity that those two could have in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and hanging banners in this building.
Be Cunningham, the first player off the bench to provide lineup versatility and shooting. Either way, there are a lot of options. So I saw Sophie Cunningham talk about how she is thrilled to join a supporting role next to Caitlin Clark and that she's playing on a stacked Fever squad.
But this isn't a one-woman circus. It's a symphony. Kelsey Mitchell's backcourt buzzsaw drops 19.2 a game, slicing through gaps Clark creates. Her 40.2% from 3 last season. Lethal. DeWanna Bonner's the Swiss Army knife. 15 points, 6 boards, and length that suffocates wings. Natasha Howard's the enforcer. 17.6 points, 3-time champ, and a pick-and-roll terror who'll run you off the court. Then there's Aaliyah Boston. 14 points, 8.9 rebounds, and IQ so high she's a step ahead before you move. This 5 spaces the floor like a dream. Double Clark, Mitchell's open. Crash inside. Bonner and Howard rain 3s. Focus on the arc, Boston feasts. It's pick your poison, and they're all toxic.
It's Sophie Cunningham, who I mentioned before, who I do think will be the first player off the bench because of all of the things she can bring to the team, where they can go small with her and spread the floor. I mean, you can go real, you could play Howard at center and Cunningham at the 4, something like that. Really space the floor out and give teams a different look. She can play a traditional spot on the wing, of course. And she has a little bit more, you know, I think they're listed at the same height, but she has a little bit more length and size, I believe, than Lexi Hull. And that's, you know, another shooter out on the floor.
How's this monster humming? Enter Stephanie White. She's not here for stiff playbooks. Her Sun teams thrived on pace and freedom. "We don't run plays, we make plays," she said at her intro presser. Think sets that morph on the fly. Clark darting, Howard rolling, Bonner cutting, all reading the chaos. White's fever topped the league in fast break points in 2015. Now with Clark's speed and Boston's screens, it's turbocharged. Last year, Indiana's offense was top tier, but their defense ranked 11th. Howard and Bonner, 5 rings between them, fix that. This isn't just talent, it's a system built to break you.
And then there's Lexi Hull, who was relied upon a little bit too much a season ago. You know, Lexi's a little undersized to guard some of the players that she had to guard and would get in foul trouble. And when she got in foul trouble, it was really debilitating for the team. Now I think she can bring that energy all the time and not have to worry about the foul trouble because of the lineup versatility that they have. For Lexi, the key is, can she continue to hit at the clip from 3 that she did the second half of last season? And she's got to get better at finishing around the cup. I mean, that's an area of improvement. I think we've seen a lot of Brianna Turner working out with the team. You know, I think her ability to set screens, hopefully catch and finish, could give her some minutes, because Aaliyah Boston really the only kind of what you would consider a center on the squad at this moment.
Don't sleep on the bench though. Here's where it gets wild. Sophie Cunningham's the 6th woman spark plug. She could start anywhere. 8.4 points, 37.8% from 3, but her reaction to the role, pure gold. Thrilled to back Clark on a stacked squad, she told reporters. No ego, all in. That's rare. Allen Iverson quit over less. Cunningham's tenacity and range let White go small, sliding Howard to center for a 5-out death lineup. Lexi Hull's another weapon, 47.1% from 3 last year, tops in the WNBA. She's undersized but scrappy, perfect for harassing guards. Then there's Brianna Turner, screen setting, rim running glue. This bench doesn't drop off, it reloads.
You'll see Clark in motion more this year to free her up for cleaner looks. You know, Clark's 3-point percentage was not probably where it needed to be. I think one way to get that up is to get her cleaner looks off the ball at times, though she should still have the ball the lion's share of the time. What they really did do is add those rim runners around her. Colson maybe plays a little bit more than we figured, because Clark will get spelled a bit more often this season, I would imagine. I also could see some Clark Colson 2-guard lineups out there at times to let Clark play off the ball a little bit more, to let Colson apply defensive pressure.
So I also want our players to use their instincts and to play free. You know, we want to make plays, not run plays, right? We want to have sets that give us certain spacing that we want, depending upon our rotations, who's on the floor, who we want to attack, what matchups we want to get to, how can we manipulate them. So we'll have certain play calls that just give us space to operate. And then whichever play we make, whichever pass we make, determines, you know, one of 3 actions that our players can read from. And so really giving them the freedom to play within a system.
Now, the curveball. Temi Fagbenley's gone. She started in the 2024 playoffs, a 6'4" rim runner who meshed with Clark. Off-season picks showed her with White, 1 of 6 in a workout snap. Fans figured she'd stay, then bam. Not on the protected list for the expansion draft. Indiana kept Damiris Dantas instead, a stretch big with range. Why? Maybe Dantas unlocks new looks. 38% from 3 last year, or they're plotting a trade. Fagbenley's exit stings, but this front office plays chess. Something's brewing.
And then, of course, you know, when you have more weapons, a lot of people are worried. I don't think they have players who need the ball to score, but they have more players who can score, which is going to make it tougher to load up. It was already tougher to load up on Kelsey Mitchell last year because Caitlin Clark was there. And when Kelsey's able to get out in transition, she's so fast. And when she's able to take you one-on-one, there ain't much you can do. And then Clark, the same thing. What are you going to do now? You're going to have to pick your poison, because you're going to send the whole defense at her again. Well, she's going to pick you apart. You know, they have 5 players who were in the top 30 in scoring last year. You know, what the FIBA really needed last year, they got killed on the boards at times. They got killed defensively at times. They lacked a little bit of toughness and oomph. And I think, you know, collectively, the new players fill that mold. I mean, they got players that have been around the block. You know, Sophie is tough and tenacious. You know that DeWanna Bonner has been in every situation imaginable, right? So all of that is huge. Same with Howard. You know, that experience, that's something Sydney Colson talked about, who also has the experience. Everybody that's coming in is having the experience, and it's not often you see such a drastic overhaul.
So what's this mean for the WNBA? The Las Vegas Aces and New York Liberty better buckle up. Vegas's smaller lineup plums out, Lloyd's in, might get bullied inside by Boston and Howard. New York's depth is elite, but can their rotations chase Clark's motion and cover 5 shooters? The Fever's 2020 record last year was a warm-up. This roster's a title or bust machine. Playoffs start May 17th. Mark it. If this 5 gels, banners could hang in Indy by July.
Last year, I basically said there were 4 reliable players in Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and Hull. Everybody around that has been reconfigured, and the coach. And, you know, the coach has familiarity with Bonner. She also has familiarity with how to guard Caitlin Clark.
And as much as the starting 5 is pretty much dead set right now, I could potentially see one of Sophie Cunningham or Lexi Hull maybe breaking into that starting lineup. I could see that happening at different stages during the year. Do we not remember with Temi? Do we not remember they had a picture of Stephanie White with 6 players? And they were allowed to protect 6 players, and it was Temi as one of the 6? Do we not remember that? Turns out they protected Dantas instead of Temi.
I do believe people give way too much credit to social media managers and accounts for the, you know, behind the scenes knowledge that they might have about a team. So I wouldn't take that to the bank, because those were the players that were on the graphic. They could have just been randomly chosen.
Here's the kicker. Can this much star power stay synced? Chemistry's the X factor. Bonner and Howard bring vet savvy. Cunningham's buy-in sets the tone, but Clark's still just 23. Will egos clash, or will White's system turn talent into triumph? Drop your take below. Is this the Fever's year, or are they one piece away? Like, subscribe, hit that bell. We're tracking this juggernaut all season. The WNBA's on notice. Indiana's coming.